Hello and welcome to episode 47 of the Curios Cast. This week we talk about a car chase that ends at a McDonald's drive-thru and a porn court case. We've got an update on an old story from the Curios archives. So settle down, snuggle in. On with the boys!
I just accidentally threw what I was fiddling with down the fucking loft hatch. I hope no one was down there.
Just another weird news.
Weird news.
Yeah.
Should we just jump straight into our stories?
Jump
Let's
straight
do
in.
it.
Jump straight in. No fucking about.
2 fists. Yeah, 2 fists in.
As the wanker said a few episodes ago, let's go in dry.
Going in dry, and we're hoping for a large yield.
A large yield.
So this story here, I'll send you the link as always. Police chase ends at McDonald's drive-thru as woman orders food in middle of pursuit.
Let me guess, is it in America?
You guessed right. I haven't actually looked yet. It might not be. Yes, it is. A police chase of a woman in a stolen truck ended at McDonald's drive-thru after she tried to order food during a pursuit. The chase happened at 8:45 in the morning, so she was there in time for breakfast, in Worcester, Massachusetts on Tuesday. Officers got a 911 call about a stolen pickup truck in the eastern part of the city, reported by ABC News. The man that made the call told officers that a woman, whom he did not know, climbed into his car and drove away. He said his pickup truck had GPS and he could see its location.
I hope any like astute, is that the word? Like highly observant?
Yep.
Watchers of the YouTube channel might have just noticed me pick out my phone and load up Just Eat the second we started talking about ordering food. I thought, I wonder if the fucking my favourite place to order food from is always closed on a Tuesday, and I always forget. Anyway, fuckers, yeah.
That is disappointing. There's
really disappointing. I always forget every fucking win. I'm like, you only instantly get it in your heart. You're like, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna get.
There's a chicken shop near me that I order from every now and then, and there's one that's always open, and it's very reliable. They do good wings, but they do shit strips. There's another place that do okay wings and good strips. So you got to sort of balance, what you're fancying in the moment. But when I go to order from the one with the good strips, they just seem like they're open or closed at like random times. Like you there's no way of knowing. So you get it in your head that you're going to order from there, and then you can't. It's fucking pissing me off.
That just reminded me, right? And I took it. It's funny now, like it's taken for granted. I remember my first like experience of someone ordering food from like Just Eat or wherever it was. I went round. Big up listener of the podcast, Josh, by the way, a friend from uni. I know he's listening. I went round his. He lived in Joe's flat at the time. Also, listener of the podcast. Big up, Joe. I know, everywhere.
It's mostly just your friends that listen.
Yeah, I think it is. We were around there, and I remember like we might, it's possible we'd indulged in a little bit of
joking.
that herb, at the time.
Never you.
Not what?
But, and it was late. It was like maybe like midnight. We got to get. It'd been like, like a, what's the word? A meet up from uni.
Blazing.
No, like a
reunion.
We had a little reunion with the guys. So whenever we do that, we kind of just fall into the instantly like uni habit. But anyway, I remember it being like quite late, like midnight or so. And we were like, oh fucking hell, hungry. He was like, I really fancy some chicken. And we were like, yeah. And I was just thinking, well, that ain't happening. In my head, I was like, that ain't happening. Like, there's no way we're going to get that. And then about like, he sort of sat there silent for like 10 minutes. And then I just was like, chicken's on the way. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck have you just done? And then about half hour later, it was knocking on the door and it was just there. And but now you just take it for granted. It's just like, oh, I know that you're doing that thing on there.
You do take it for granted, yeah. Like, one of my friends lives fucking out the way, small little, I think it's technically a village, but it's so, like, the only places that deliver I think there's only one. I think it's Domino's. That's it. And it's not like on an app. It's, call up an order or do it on a website or whatever. Yeah. You can't just go on there and select from kebabs and everything. I think the only takeaway in the whole village is just one Chinese place that you got to collect from. It's depressing, man.
I'll tell you what I've missed since moving to the Netherlands is Indian takeaways and Chinese takeaways.
You said this before.
I've said it before, on the podcast, but I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get
fucking
the shakes.
hungry now. We're talking about this. Yeah,
I need a booner.
Even if you go on like a I know there is like a Dutch version of Just Eat 'cause I've used it before, but when you go on there, is there not like Indians or are they just shit?
There's just not. I think Indian takeaways in the UK are unique.
Yeah,
it's like British Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
So you just can't get it anywhere.
Because it was adapted, right? Like when I guess people from India emigrated over here, I don't know, hundreds of years ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
We kind of took that food and we're like, all right, we're gonna do that. We like what you've done with that and that, but we're going to take that and get rid of that, and we're going to make it our way. And
well, one of our mutual friends, I said about that. Like she laughed before because I said about having a madras or whatever, and she was just like, she laughed. It was like, it's just funny to me. It's lamb curry, it's chicken curry, it's like it's we don't have a name for it other than that. It's just. Like in actual Indian cuisine, it is just the food that's in it. It's not.
Yeah, it's just a curry.
The rest of that shit's just made up for our own fucking English palate, just to have something else on the menu, I suppose.
Tastes fucking good, though.
Tastes fucking
lovely.
It is good,
though. It reminded me, though, of another time when we was at uni, an early reminder of like ordering shit through an app. It was like the Domino's app, like ordering something on a phone.
Yeah.
And when we lived in halls, we lived like, there was like a petrol station kind of near us, but like, so we'd ordered to there, it said like, there's like a sort of description, that's where we are on campus. We lived on like a campus uni, and we were like, so, delivery sort of there. And we were like drawing straw. I remember like we were rock, paper, scissors, and we were like, who's going to have to go to the door? That was like the big deal of like, when it rings, who's going to have to go to the door? Because we knew we'd have to go like, not just to the flat door, we'd have to go to the building door, like it was going to be. But then, so we were sitting there, my mate Josh gets a ring, and it's like, Domino's here. He was like, asking us whereabouts are you? I'm at the. I don't think we'd said the petrol station, to be fair. We just said this is where we are. He was like, I'm at the petrol station. And we were like, all right. And we opened the window and you could see him. We were like, we're fucking here, because we were on the bottom floor as well. So he walked right over to us. The window was open, and he just like passed the pizza through the window. He was like, how's that for delivery, you fucking lucky bastards? We were like, yes.
Recently, me and my friends rented like a lodge out in the middle of, again, it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Cool, right. Okay, we'll see where this podcast money's going.
And it actually worked out like a very reasonable price, because there was 10 of us splitting the costs.
That's basically what we did on that stag do. We did that. Yeah,
and it was really nice. Like the house was huge and garden huge and everything, but it was there's nothing around. So it was just down this country lane, and you turn off down a drive, and that's it. Like the nearest pub, if you was to walk it, is like 25-30 minutes. So middle of nowhere. But
you've really grown up in a London suburb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my nearest pub is literally my nearest pub is literally a 30-second walk away. Like it's that close. And there's a Weatherspoons like a 10-minute walk away. Like,
fuck Weatherspoons.
And the Airbnb host had left some takeaway menus stuck to the fridge, obviously being like, these are the ones that are nearby if you're going to order some takeaway or whatever. Yeah. So we picked out the Chinese, and one of us had to be the person to call up and list what everybody wants. Like written down an order for 10 people on the notes app, and I'm like listing it all out. So it takes a while, and I'm listing what everyone wants. And I get to the end, and she's like, oh, okay, that'll be ready in about 30-40 minutes or so. I'm like, okay, like, do you need the address? She's like, oh no, we don't do delivery. We're all like, fuck! No. Like we all thought that it was a delivery place, but it wasn't. And I look at the menu, I'm like, fuck, it doesn't actually say delivery on here. It says eat-in / takeaway. So like I saw takeaway and obviously just assumes delivery because you know
that's normal life.
everyone delivers, right? And I like look around, I'm like, who has not had a drink? Like, because we'd all just been on the beers all day, and like one of our friends hadn't had anything to drink yet, and
he knew it was coming as well. He's sitting there thinking, "Oh fuck's sake, I know what's coming."
Yeah. Well, I said like I kind of panicked, and I said, I'll call you back in a couple of minutes. Can you just like save our order? She's like, yeah. And I said, has anyone not had a drink? And one of our friends hadn't had anything to drink, so she volunteered to drive. And I asked her, I was like, where's your address on the phone? And she said, I looked it up on the phone, and again, it was like a 30-minute walk. And I was like, and it was pissing down with rain as well. But to drive, it's only 2 minutes because it's one of those just straight country roads.
Okay.
So yeah, luckily we managed to actually get our food. It was just like it was heartbreaking though when she said that they don't deliver.
I remember a similar thing. Like we did a thing, rented like one of those houses, and me and my mate, we have a bit of like it's sort of like a running joke between some of our friends that like, unsurprisingly, we're a little bit extra with like audio equipment at like a party or whatever. So we'd bought this like fucking PA with us. But we're going to set up in one of the rooms. We'll have a fucking, we'll have it cranking out in one of there. It's in the middle of nowhere. What the fuck not?
Cranking one out?
Yeah, cranking one out, like me. But we forgot like a specific lead. And I was just like, all right, we're here for like 3 days. I'll just Amazon it to come tomorrow. And we're just like baffled that like there just wasn't an option. It was just like, it would arrive after oh fuck's sake. Like, what is this? What is this backwards place we're in?
Yeah, I do think that every time I'm in anywhere, to be honest, anywhere that's not a city, really. Even if I was living where you live, I'd be lost.
Yeah, I mean,
your buses don't come every 3 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't actually have that many options to Just Eat, really. Like, it's only really that couple of places that I like. It's probably more than where I lived before, though. Like back in Stamford, George, what the fuck would we have there? Yeah, and Just Eat.
Yeah,
you had quite a few takeaways about, but not really.
Yeah,
really
couple of good Indian restaurants.
Yeah, that's your options, though, Indian or Chinese.
Tell you what, I can't wait to come back to the UK just for an Indian.
Good old Ruby Murray.
Yeah. Lovely boom.
I'm so hungry now as well. I really wish we had. I'm absolutely robbed myself.
But we're just talking about food here.
Yeah, Christ.
I was about to say, like the takeaway.
Listeners, what's your favourite takeaway?
The takeaway options we have here are enough that my brother orders from a different place for like starters, mains, and desserts.
Oh, fuck off!
Fucking nightmare. He'll order some food and still be hungry for something else. So order some food from somewhere else, and then he'll want dessert, so he orders dessert from somewhere.
And that's financially viable to do that. Like
no.
I can remember one night, a few of my mates, we ordered an Indian and a Chinese. Because we wanted to combine the two, and the two orders arrived at the same time, and like the two delivery
it's like being
guys
in Cosmos.
Really confused, because they were both delivering to the same place.
I knew a guy once, right, that used to be, it was a delivery driver. He worked as that, but he also used to like shot drugs, and he'd do both.
Me.
Yeah, he'd do both while on his like moped, and he said he turned up to this one house to deliver pizza, and like purely as a laugh, I guess they were just like. He's like, yeah, all good. And they were like, yeah, don't suppose you get any coke, could you? And he was just like, actually, as it goes. They must have been so made up. He was like, oh, clearly made their night. They couldn't believe it.
I have heard reports of people in like the special delivery information. Like, you can say like, what's your message to the driver? And it will say, don't use the doorbell, knock on a door, please, or something. Or, buzz in here to get into the flat or something. People will put, if you got any gear, or to bring some weed or something.
And how many times do they get lucky?
I guess it, probably a higher percentage than you'd think. Like it would work.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's a pretty good moonlighting activity to do, isn't it? If you're doing one, you're already on your moped or you're already on your bicycle.
Yeah, and like
fairly likely.
Surely you're never getting pulled over if you've got a big delivery bag on your back, right?
Great point. Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah.
All right, now we know how we're going to fund our...
Yeah, you could just do like one delivery all night and your entire fucking big bag could just be full of drugs.
Yeah, just make sure you don't give the wrong product.
I think if you were doing the delivery, you'd look suspicious enough to...
A little less subtle, yeah. That's a great point though, isn't it? And like, driving up to people's houses,
Yeah.
being in there for a split second and coming out again. Christ, great cover. Why hasn't that ever crossed my mind before?
There must be some sort of.
There's got to be people that do that.
Scheme.
There's got to be people that do that. Anyway. Big up all the people that are doing that.
Yeah, hustlers.
Legalise that thing.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Anyway, this story.
We barely even started. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to it other than like what the title says.
Okay, yeah.
As officers made their way to the area of the stolen truck, they were flagged down by another driver who said their car had been hit by the truck minutes before. Joanna Gardell, 38, was identified as the person accused of stealing the truck. The officer said they found her in the stolen truck a few blocks away. The officer activated his blue lights, got out of his cruiser, and approached the stolen vehicle. The operator drove away as the officer walked towards her. The officer got back in his cruiser and followed her at a low rate of speed, but she did not stop. So it seems like she was in like a minor collision. Someone flagged her down, flagged the officer down and said, "I've been hit." The officer found the person and then they just drove away. But it seems like it wasn't like a, high octane chase. It was just a, mildly, I guess, just
octane.
A mild drive away. Mild octane. Yeah. But she did not stop. She began to increase her speed. It's getting more octaney now. On the main street and drove through red lights. The officer deactivated his... This is written really poorly, by the way. The officer deactivated his lights and sirens
One of
and
our
stopped following her for safety reasons. So, the officer was obviously just like, this ain't worth it.
Yeah.
She crossed into the wrong lane in oncoming traffic, hitting a van. Could have been you, Rob. Fucking hell. Officers said. She backed up her vehicle at a high rate of speed. It's getting so octanes now. And
octanes?
Yeah.
Many octanes.
And struck a cruiser behind her and knocked down and dragged one of the detail officers. They pursued the vehicle at a low rate of speed, bit less octane now, before the pursuit was called off for safety reasons. Have I just read the same bit again?
Sounds like no, the first bit
bullshit article, yeah.
Yeah, they just done it again. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did.
And then, Gardell allegedly pulled into the drive-thru at a nearby McDonald's to try and order food, but officers found her and tried to arrest her. Officers approached in two vehicles, but she intentionally struck one before veering off the road and getting the stolen pickup truck stuck in a pile of mulch that was on the McDonald's property, police said.
Pile of mulch?
Yeah.
That's like a from an 80s cop film.
Yeah, that isn't it? Like driving into the...
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
This is going to be like Back to the Future, where like a big manure truck falls on. Officers were then able to pull Gardell out of the vehicle as she fought and struggled with them during the arrest, according to police.
Just found a picture of her.
Oh, yeah. Does she look like the type that...
She looks exactly how you probably imagined in her too.
Have a look. Oh, yeah.
I'll describe her as bulging.
It looks a little bit like... It looks a little bit like... I mean, obviously to do with her attire, but also it could be like pink that's really gone downhill.
Yeah.
And had like a really depressing few years. And, it's like one of those like candid photos you'd see when they were like, pink not doing so well.
Yeah, I was thinking, the girl from Ozark, the one with like the blonde curly hair, who's
she's
hot.
the best character, isn't she? She's great.
Yeah. But has gone very, very, very downhill. Like, she ain't got that Marty Bird money anymore.
I hope there's a new season of that coming out soon. No fucking.
I think there is apparently.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be. Is it classic postponed, wasn't it? Because of the bullshit pandemic.
I rewatch it. I can't remember.
Amazing. Really good that was, wasn't it? Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Go watch. Stop listening to this podcast. It's shit. Go watch Ozark instead. Much better. Much better. That's pretty much it. She just was during a police chase and decided to go to McDonald's.
I wonder what she tried to order.
Yeah, that's what I was really hoping the article said that, but it didn't.
Shit journalism, mate. Those are the facts that we want to hear.
I would have found that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If any of us.
Me too. That's kind of like half the point, isn't it? Surely, like you just out of curiosity. What does someone order? Like knowing what someone orders on their last meal, before they die.
Mm.
Like, what does someone order when they know they're about to get arrested?
Yeah.
Or did she not know she was about to get arrested?
She must have known that she was
probably had
being
an idea.
chased by police.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point though. How did she get through a drive-thru in a truck? Because I can't go to a fucking drive-thru in the van.
It's America, that everything's bigger in America.
Yeah,
That's true.
but they've all got pickup
Yeah.
trucks, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it was a pickup truck.
Yeah, it
In
would
my
have
head,
been. It would have been.
picturing a
No, it would have
fucking-
been like a.
It's not like a fucking
Yeah.
articulated lorry.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking a lorry. As soon as he
No.
truck, I think no.
Because
Right.
they always call them 18 wheelers in America, but they're not always got 18 wheels, which always
Right, it's the truck. Yeah.
I get confused by.
Yeah, I instantly thought, because I can't go fucking. It's probably sorted me out actually quite a few times that I cannot go to a drive-thru. Well, I've like gone like after a gig or something, or just being out somewhere, and I think, oh fucking, I might just go get some chips or something, and I just can't. I was really desperate one night as well. I really like tried. I pulled up to a McDonald's, couldn't go through the drive-thru. I saw people inside, and I was like, oh, sick. Maybe I can just go in because it wasn't that late. It must have been maybe 11:15. Went to go in. I realised it was only like Deliveroo drivers and shit in there. Fuck, I can't go in. And then I see a sign and it was like, order to like the waiting spot through this app. And I was like, where? Like scan the code. I'll do that. Signed up, like did the whole sign up, put my details in, ordered the food, got all the way to the end. And it was like, cool, place your order now. And it's like, collect from window 1. I was like, oh, you fucking prick, no way. Like, which was a drive-through window. Like I had to go. I don't even know if they charged me for that. I may have been charged for that order.
Why can't you just pick up from the window? It's stupid, isn't it?
I mean, maybe I could have. Maybe I could have walked up to the window and said, look, I'm in a fucking van, like maybe. But like,
I've seen people try.
By that point, I was like, it's a sign. I've heard of that. I've heard of. I feel like I remember being younger and thinking it'd be like when we didn't drive and just thinking it'd be funny / we were just out and about walking around.
Yeah.
Walking about town. Before we get a McDonald's, let's walk through the drive-thru. I remember doing it like trying to like pretend we were a car, something lame, like and then they were just obviously like, fuck off, like get away.
I'm surprised your van cars. I'm pretty sure I've seen like transit vans and stuff fit through.
Yeah, mine's a high top though. Mine is higher than a normal transit van.
Oh really?
Unless it was a high top transit, it probably wouldn't get through.
Right,
Mine is a high top, like your regular transit would get through.
Okay.
But it does seem like an oversight. Like, why? Why is there a height restriction on the drive-thru?
Not every cunt's got a high top camper van.
Yeah, I don't know.
But why? But why are they? Who are they restricting that from? Why are they restricting it from anyone?
They don't want you in there.
Yeah, like exactly. Who don't
your
they?
type.
Knowing you'd probably either flip your camper van or your wheel would fly off and fly through the window.
It
and
makes
kill
no sense.
someone.
Who don't they want in the drive-thru?
You.
Why are they restricting anyone from the fucking drive-thru? Surely they want to take every cunt's money.
No,
I don't get it. Like,
your money's no good here,
you have to build a roof. Why do you have to build some fucking roof? Put a different roof, or like, I don't get it. Like, surely, like, they must miss a lot of business from like van drivers.
It's probably
in like a big old van.
It's probably something really boring, like legal.
Some bullshit.
Like,
and like we can't go in. The same as that we can't go through it. Yeah. We can't do it in the band van. When we go, like, it's like...
Oh, fucking hell, you got 2 vans.
I wonder if it's because like the window could be too high
we don't own that van.
or something just ridiculous. Like,
what the fuck is a fucking lean down? Is this like lorry drivers going through? But what is that fuck? What? Someone would be daft enough to try and go through in a fucking articulated lorry? Surely not. Like, you could just...
I mean,
yeah,
you read you heard me read that article.
In a high top van.
Yeah. That is a
if
shame.
anyone knows, anyone working for McDonald's corporate listening, give us a shout.
I remember my dad going through a drive-through in my dad's van, and it used to fit. But then if he had ladders on the roof, you would hear the chains like smacking against it, like you'd hear the noise. So it was like just would fit through with some ladders on there. Yeah, that's it. But, that's my story.
Nice. Octane.
Yeah.
Double octane.
Yeah, it was an octane roller coaster.
Speaking of getting the blood pumping.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't work. It's not really a good segue. I've got an update to an older story that we've spoken about twice, I think, on the on the podcast. I think
Shit.
originally this is one of Lawford's stories from probably like episode 2 or episode 1.
Oh, that's a callback, isn't it?
So if you really want to go back into the archives, don't. But if you really do, I'm sure this was episode 2. But then we spoke about it again, I'm sure, last year at some point, because there's been a couple of updates. But so this is an update to the story of the parents that destroyed their son's porn collection. I don't know if you remember speaking about this.
Remember this.
I think we spoke about this twice. Tom as well.
What have we spoken?
Yeah.
Okay.
We spoke about it on the Valentine's episode. No. Can't remember.
Maybe around that, yeah. So about... so I'll recap the story for new listeners. So in the US, a guy had an extensive porn collection. I think it was valued at like over $350,000 or something like that.
I love the valuation. That's one of those bullshit like newspaper valuations, isn't it? Like it's just not. It's not worth that, is it? Like
if you find the right buyer.
It's probably like the total cost that maybe he paid for it over time.
But maybe even not. Like, yeah, they've upper valued that shit for, and they like. Nah. Also, just quickly, I don't know whether you can see this on the camera you're recording with. But on the camera, I can see you with George. Like, what the fuck is that shit going on? And you're like top left. No, the other side.
This is my cable management. This is my that's my Wi-Fi router.
That's so shit. If anyone listening or actually maybe can't see it on the camera, George has got like it's like a plug socket with some bullshit balancing on the plug socket with a cable that runs down.
We'll go off.
Yeah, but for anyone listening, it's like a normal wall socket with just some what turns out to be his Wi-Fi router balanced on top. Why is it there of all places?
It's because that's the only. So we have to, because we're in like a shared house. We're on the top floor, but the main router is downstairs. But because the ceilings are so high, it's a really old building. Our Wi-Fi signal's shit, so I've had to run an Ethernet cable up from the router, but the only spot I can get it to, because we haven't got that many plugs in the living room, is here. So I've had to like balance it and tack it to the wall and shit. And then I've got another Ethernet cable going into the other room with like a booster. It's just a mess. It's just ridiculous.
But, anyway, sorry, that just amused me, so I had to point out.
Yeah, there's cables going all over the place. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, listeners. A little off-piste. And my old Wi-Fi password was on there as well. So if you want to try and log in from wherever you are, you're more than welcome. So basically this guy, his parents destroyed his collection. I think there was like an ongoing dispute about him living at home and not having a job and all this sort of shit. And there was
it that guy from the other episode? The wanker from Reddit. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe this is why maybe it's why he vanished. I don't know. So they destroyed all his porn, and then he, like you do in America, you sue your parents, because you want to get back at them or whatever. And about 8 months ago, he was successful in his lawsuit. So like the lawsuit had sort of been approved or whatever the term would be, but no like fee had been announced or anything like that. But now the judge has made a judgment in the case. And a judge has ruled that the parents must pay their son $45,000
fuck off
for trashing his eclectic VHS porn collection.
No VHS.
Well, in what year has he made this judgment?
Now, like literally, this was yesterday, 30th.
No way.
Whoa.
No way.
Yeah. So this is breaking news on the Curios Cast.
I want to know. How did you you got like an alert set up like on this story? This
came up on Facebook. It was I originally I hate reading Vice now, but I saw it on Vice. It popped up, and I thought it was like the old story from when we spoke about it, like the lawsuit, whatever. But I opened it up, and no, it's like an update. It's like a legit thing. He's now being awarded $45,000. But the good thing about this story is that there's an itemized list of some of the porn video names.
Brilliant.
Oh, great.
So we can
we guess some? Can we guess some of them?
Well, yeah. I'll let you guess some, and then I'll share some of my favourites for.
Have we got? Is Shaving Ryan's Privates on there?
Anyway, let me. We'll get to that. We'll have like an extended extravaganza of porn names.
I know that is actually an official porn name as well.
It must be.
I know
Well,
it is. I know
legit,
it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Shaving lines.
you know it, do you?
I've never seen it, but I remember it being in like Euro Trash or something.
Yeah, I
Shaving
think
lines-
all of
shaving
the
lines
sort of like
privates.
puns you could think of.
Yeah.
Oh, like I think it was like Grinding Nemo was one of them as well. That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So this guy, his surname is Working, which is ironic, I guess, because he wasn't working. He was a 43-year-old living in Indiana, the US.
43.
43.
Fuck's sake.
Against his
Come
Michigan
to his
parents.
Jesus
I've always
Christ.
thought every time this story has come up, I've just pictured sort of like a, don't know, 22-year-old, you know, hasn't really grown up at the rate his parents would want him to mentally.
I don't know. I sort of pictured a 40-year-old wanker. Someone who's bothered suing his parents, like to them to be at the end
'Cause
of
his
their tether,
parents
like
must
you
be, like,
motherfucker.
in their 60s minimum.
Yeah, pretty old.
Yeah, and they got to be like so at the end of their tether, like we put up with this piece of
For
shit.
40 years.
Yeah, in our fucking house, you waste man. Like, get the fuck out of my house. You tosser. Like, you literal tosser. Fuck. Mate, I feel bad for the parents in this case.
Yeah.
Fuck me. They must be like, just go on the fucking internet, you sad piece of shit. Like, how much porn are you buying? Like it's all
It
free
doesn't say-
now.
It doesn't say why, you know, whether he was collecting it or whether he was, specifically buying it to have a wank or, you know, whatever. I'm not too sure.
What? Are you trying to claim he was like an
Like an art
aficionado?
collector.
Yeah.
So according to the lawsuit, his parents had thrown away multiple boxes of pornography and sex toys left behind in the house after they kicked him out. So he'd originally moved back in with them after a divorce, and he'd been living there for about 10 months, but they kicked him out of their home in 2017. So it's been going on. This has been going on for quite a while.
All right, so I feel I'll retract slightly my statements before then. If he'd been out, he'd been divorced, they'd
He
be
hasn't been,
gracious
like,
enough to
living in
let
the
him move
basement.
back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's slightly different.
And then 2 days later, they found him on the streets and they took him to a ministry centre, Christian ministry centre. And then that very same day, they found the porn collection and began throwing it out.
All right. In fact, all right. I'm completely back on this guy's side now. Then, all right. So he's been divorced.
Yeah.
He's just moved back home. Shit's gone to fucking hit the fan, and he's ended up on the streets. And now they throw his porn collection, like the one thing he has left in his life. You know,
Yeah.
the one good thing he has going on is like, at least I've got my porn.
You never kick a man when he's down.
Yeah. And then they fucking. Oh no, I'm completely back on this guy's side. I retract everything I said previously.
So he repeatedly asked for his porn collection back through email, which is weird.
I love that.
I don't know why
Messaging
they
his
were
parents
going
like, please, come on. At least
As
give
per
him
my previous email, please let me wank.
They bought him some of the stuff. However, he noticed that items were missing, and they admitted
I love
to
that as
destroying
well.
them.
I love that as well. Notice they were missing. Hang about. Where is
Where is Shemale Gangbang 4?
Yeah, where is Bad Bitches 7? I've only got copies 1 through 6.
The mother had apparently said that they didn't want him to bring porn into the house, and that was why they threw it out, and destroyed it. Emails between Working and his parents outline years of back and forth about his divorce, his inability to find work or an apartment, and their increasing disapproval of his vast porn collection.
I'm increasing. Like, it's got worse.
In
Like
one
that.
email, his father Paul lists some of the genres he claims to have found in his son's stash, including incest, bestiality, slavery, torture, and rape. And this is a quote from the email. It says, "Any civilization that tolerates or promotes these acts will not survive. Any individual that puts this garbage into his mind will also suffer," he wrote in an email to his son in March 2018.
My compassion for this guy is eroding slightly. You know?
So, Working outlined his inventory of thousands of DVDs and VHS tapes in incredible detail in court documents, including titles such as Piss and Fist, Debbie Does Dallas 3, and Big Bad Grannies.
classic Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah.
But hang about though. So is this him from memory, writing down what he should have had?
All
He's
down,
like,
yeah.
He's like, no, but like, yeah, but from memory, like he's like, hang about. So in this lawsuit, I know for a fact I had, and lists off thousands of titles which he knew he had.
Yeah.
What one would be
That's
weirder
far
if he already had an itemized log of it with all the names and their
I'm really not sure.
estimated
I'm really not
valuations, or if he just knew it all off the top of his head. What one of those is weirder?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. That's a tough call.
So I've got a list of some of the. Well, this is like his top picks. Do you want to guess some of the names?
Well, I've already got Shaving Ryan's Privates. Yeah, I'm sure that's there.
Inspect Her Gadget is always a good one.
It's not him.
Goodwill Humping.
It's not. None of the film. I'll admit, none of the film puns are here.
Not Pulp Friction.
No. I'll tell you what is here though.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the Spider-Man porn would be like. Spider. Woman. Spider Woman hole. But like I remember seeing a clip from what was like a Spider-Man porno. You know that classic scene from Spider-Man where he like drops down on his bed.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And Mary Jane kisses him. Yeah, it's like when she kisses him, and then he drops down even further and his dick's out.
Yeah.
That's great, isn't it? Like there's people that watch that shit and they're like, I know what I'm doing in the porno. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what is
by
in
Curious George.
I'll tell you what is in the list. We all know, we all remember. I mean, we all remember, hey, my grandma is a whore 3. I mean, we all remember that one. And who could forget such classics as Radioactive Infected Sluts from Hell?
That sounds great.
That sounds good, that one, yeah.
Some of them, obviously were more like documentaries. They're, very, very sort of descriptive. Such as Big Bust Babes 28, in this 28th in the series of Big Bust Girls.
I remember Big Busts like 19. That's when I joined the series. Yeah,
that's the peak.
Yeah.
Fuck Frenzy 7. I mean, the 7th
not as good as 6 or 5.
It started going downhill after 4, I think.
Yeah.
I reckon so.
A bit like Rocky.
The Fast and Furious film.
Gangbang Fury.
Maybe that could be the name, Fast and Furious.
That's got to be a porno. Yeah, that's just written, isn't
it? My favourite is Arseman 19.
I really hope there's no others. Like, I really hope that was the first one.
And then there's some other ones that I unfortunately can't share the title of, even on our NSFW podcast.
I'm looking at the cover for Radioactive Infected Sluts from Hell. I'll send you that. It will not be up on the screen because we will be demonetized before we even make a penny. Deactivated. But the little sort of like synopsis on the front of what I imagine would be a VHS case is 4 hot babes in a country band just begging for one good cowpoke. You never guess what happens when they finally get a long little doggy. Huh.
Excuse me? What, like a sausage dog?
I don't know. If this is a wild country band, just what country are we talking about? And then there's a few pictures of, like, I guess what I can only assume are the radioactive infected sluts from hell.
Yeah, I love the way there's absolutely no mention to anything about radioactiveness.
No.
Infection. Yeah. There is a mention of sluts from hell, though.
Yeah. And then
actually, no real mention of hell either, in fact.
Yeah, there's a few of them sucking cock, and there's a few of them taking cock. Not really. Oh, I
didn't realise that we were recording an erotic audio book.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Oh, there's a scene here.
Well,
don't
play that on the podcast.
I'll play it. I'll just watch it while you two are talking. That's 11 minutes.
Not long enough.
It doesn't. The player doesn't let you skip around, so I actually have to watch it.
So this guy, as part of his like court listings, he made an impassioned plea to the judge. He said it's very difficult to find a price for many of these items. Many titles are unavailable, and when I say unavailable, I mean unavailable. He wrote, I have had, in fact, it says I mean unavailable, and then anywhere in capital letters. I've had these titles on my wish list / want list for a year with no postings. Think, not just out of print, but the entire studio making it dissolved. And that was 20 years ago. I bought all of these items either in new / mint or very good plus condition. I played them maybe once or twice because I didn't want them to get scratched or messed up. Particularly valuable pieces, he said, were Max Hardcore Extreme Schoolgirl 16, $100. Older Women Eat Pussy, $100. Muff Diver's Delight, $100. Fuck My Ass Please, $800. And the Elegant Angel 1992 Classic, Snatched to the Future, $100. There you go, there's your movie.
So there were some punny ones there.
And there's an email or a longer. This is a little email exchange as well. So this was submitted as evidence.
I'm gonna have to have a slash, by the way. Carry on with
this
that.
Guy's got a massive cock. By the way, this website only lets you watch the first minute, and then it says that you have only premium pro members can watch the full movie.
Shit.
What a shame.
Minute's long enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like the Television X 30-second preview or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you get to watch a minute from each scene. So there's scene. I don't know where scene 1 is. There's no video for scene 1, but that's scene 1. Okay. Yeah, you get to watch a minute from each scene. So not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
I'm glad this guy got a bit of justice. Well deserved. This
is quite good. This is like an email that the guy sent to his dad after they'd thrown the porn out. It says, there's plenty of porn on the internet if you want to watch that, Dad. Try YouPorn or X-Hamster. Believe me, I know you need it with Mum around. I needed it with Mary around. Meanwhile, for me, there are college girls out there waiting to be made into women. Bit weird.
That is a bit weird.
And then he went on to list everything he left at their house that he wanted back, including the sex toys, my music CDs, my tambourine, my black comforter, my record player, my wedding rings, 8 by 10.
Has his tambourine got to do with anything?
So this is what that's what he was listing. He wanted back.
That's his sex tambourine.
Just the tambourine. I think it was just a very vanilla box standard tambourine.
So that was just by the by. All my sex items, and also, by the way, my tambourine you fucked off. Why'd you get rid of that?
And he wants he also says, I want my art bag, an owner gets clipped poster, 1 long container of smutty magazines, and a bunch of PSV Vita games, including Rayman Origins and Little Big Planet.
They are good, actually.
This was a response to that email from the dad. He asked, why did you want to keep so many VHS tapes? Did you just want to get arrested? I mean, who buys VHS tapes nowadays? Do you even have a tape player? Frankly, David, I did you a big favour by getting rid of all this stuff for you. If you are smart, you will get counselling and give up your porn addiction. However, if you really want to totally ruin what is left of your life, by all means, go ahead and sue me.
I mean, I'm flip-flopping on this because he's got a point again. Yeah.
Have any of you ever paid for porn?
Nah. There's really no need. Actually, I'm thinking, did I maybe once upon a time buy a porno mag? I don't know. I don't think I did. I remember maybe I definitely owned a porno mag. I don't remember if I paid for it or whether it just got passed to me.
Yeah, I got
which
passed.
Which is rough, really, when you think about
passed.
it. Yeah. I remember also I think we're probably one of the last generations to remember finding porno mags in the woods. There's a thing. We should just go out and we knew for a fact if we played around in certain parts.
Or like a little piece of one.
Yeah, or if you're really lucky, a whole fucking porno mag. But like, yeah, generally like bits.
It's like Pokemon, Tom.
Yeah. Like bits of porno mags were just like, you'd find one and regularly, like you just knew you could. You knew you could find one.
There was like in close to where I grew up in Fobbing, there were like spots.
Yeah.
You could go back and it'd be like new porno had like emerged out the ground.
Yeah, which really what it is
someone having a wank in a
horrible
bush.
cunt, going having a wank in a bush and leaving his porno mag there, I suppose, is what it really was.
Yeah. Do you remember like those gaming magazines that were genuinely about gaming? Like you'd have like, a couple pages on Gran Turismo and a couple pages on like FIFA and stuff. And then it got to the back and it would just be like littered with adverts for this and that, but it would just be all these like sex lines for you to call as well.
I remember that. I remember knocking one out, just a picture of one.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, I once had this like gaming magazine that had like one picture of like Kelly Brook holding like a sword from like some game.
Yeah.
She was like, she'd done like what I guess you would now call cosplay, but at the time, like an early version, holding this sword from a game, wearing like this like lingerie. Mate, I must have worn that page out.
I think I remember finding that in a bush.
Yeah, in Forest somewhere.
No, I've never paid for any porn. I don't think. There's probably not many people my age that have.
Even our age, probably.
Yeah.
Not. Nah. I know people maybe that have paid for OnlyFans.
Yeah, true. Actually,
that's a different generation of it.
Yeah.
Big up them for monetizing that shit. But,
yeah. I remember there was this like glitch on like the Brazzers website that you could put if you just put the username and password as null, like NULL, it would just let you in. Like everything, even like you get the 4K 60 FPS like videos, absolutely everything. It only lasted for a good like 3-4 weeks or so. I remember telling my mates, I'm like, look, try this out. None of them really seemed to care, but I felt like, that like hacker man meme where he's like, did you just put it in? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rob, if you want to check out Radioactive Infected Sluts from Hell Scene 3, they're all like they're all sitting down. They look like they're about to play some music, but I don't think, judging by
it's nice,
they've got their own little band set up. Yeah, and
there's like a meat flute in there.
Yeah, I'm not much of a music man, but just judging by the way these women are holding the instruments, I don't think they know how to play. She's sitting down at this drum kit with her legs way too wide for to hit the pedals.
What's this scene 3 you're going for?
Yeah, it's in the link that I sent.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, and then you scroll down. You've got scene 1 where they're having sex outside by the campfire. You got scene 2 where that woman's sucking a massive cock, and then you've got scene 3. Yeah, which. Oh
yeah. Okay, so I see the instruments. Yeah.
There's a woman with dreads as well. But
that's a guy.
No, it's not. I've got a very, very good authority that it is not a guy. You don't actually really ever see him play the instrument. Oh wait. Oh, scene 4. They're on stage here. They've got a decent sized crowd. No,
I can't seem to skip through it in any.
No, it doesn't. You have to be a premium pro member to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not watching the whole fucking thing.
Oh god.
Wow.
Yeah, they're on stage in the 4th scene.
I think we've hit a new low.
I think we have.
What? Just narrating us listening to porn?
Just looking at
maybe we should end it there.
Audio,
I think on that bombshell. Yeah.
Audio descriptions of with porn tape. Is there such thing as that? You know, like you get an audio description of TV shows.
There is. There's a subreddit called I think it's either NSFW audio or audio NSFW, and it's people make like it's basically just usually women like narrating a scene to you.
But is it like I meant more like you just got a standard tape, and there's just like you can turn on the closed captions on Netflix. Like you just turn on audio. What's it called?
Audio descriptions.
Yeah, and it's just like a robotic voice, like no emotion in it at all.
I wonder. I bet there is. I bet like Pornhub have done a thing like like a publicity thing. Like here's our selection of
accessible porn.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
I want one with like a sign language person in the corner of the screen.
Because the script is important.
Yeah,
that is very true.
On that, I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is.
I don't know where we can go from here.
Only down.
Okay, thanks for listening. We're sorry.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone that's loved us. To all our family.
What's your favourite porn tape? Leave it as a review on
leave it as a 5-star review.
Yeah, if you could think of a funny porn like pun name, I love them. So let me leave us a review.
Big up.
Cool. Episode 47.
Peace.